And welcome back to the Brickazoid's Den. Now, I would be saying welcome back to another Owl House episode discussion, but obviously, Owl House has ended. It has concluded its season 2, with last week being the finale episode, which was King's Tide. And now I still have a plethora of Owl House content that I still want to do, and this is going to be the first of that. And that is Owl House Season 3 theories and ideas and storyline ideas, whatever, based off of what we got in Season 2B and also previous seasons as well. As in, like, Season 1 and stuff. I don't know why I said previous seasons, like there are many more, but anyways, obviously, Season 3 is going to have 3 45-minute episodes instead of, like, a full season's length, which I think I've mentioned many times on the channel before, so, I've kind of set this up with explaining what each episode I think is going to be about, like the storylines that are going to be followed in each episode, and that's kind of how I'm going to divide up my theories and ideas, is by just kind of going through each episode and explaining what I think could maybe happen in each episode. So that's kind of the idea here, and I've kind of made it so that each episode represents a different one of the main 3 trio. So episode 1 is going to be about Luz. It's going to be like the Luz episode. Then episode 2 is going to be the Ida episode, where we follow Ida most of the time. And then episode 3 is going to be about King, where we follow King a fair amount of the time, because that's going to be kind of split up between 2 different main storylines here. So I'll get to that when we get to episode 3. But, yeah, that is kind of how I've set this up for my theories and ideas based off of each episode's storyline idea, I guess. So we will get started with episode 1, and I'll kind of go through the theories and ideas of what I think we could see with that. Of course, let's start with episode 1, which would be All on Earth, and that would again follow Luz. So the kind of storylines, the kind of things that I think are going to happen in this episode are going to be Camilla, which of course is Luz's mother, going to get an introduction to Lumity, going to be, Amity and Luz are probably going to have a very nice moment with Camilla. And also, Camilla will learn about all of Luz's friends. Of course, Gus, Hunter, and I think Willow were the only one, and obviously Amity as well. Were the only ones that got through, I think. That was it. I couldn't remember if there was 5 or 6 of them, but yeah, we'll just kind of get like an introduction to each of the characters that we have with us here. And then a question that I kind of brought up when I was thinking about all of this was, will V, which is the basilisk character that Camilla has been taking care of on the human realm, will V play into this season at all? Because, of course, V is from the Boiling Isles and is known as a basilisk, which I believe are very powerful creatures in the Boiling Isles, so maybe V will have a way to get home or something like that. I don't know. But V does eat magic, so maybe if they eat enough magic, they can create I don't know. But anyways, also, will Hunter and Willow, like that kind of relationship, be established? Because, of course, there are some hints in previous episodes of something along those lines. So I'm curious if that's going to be established in this episode or not, or other episodes in the rest of the season here. And then I'm also saying that Gus will have like a field day on Earth, because he was a part of the Humans Club, whatever it was called, Human Association Club or something, on the Boiling Isles. So him being in the human realm was probably pretty crazy, even though he has to deal with the events of what just happened in the previous, season 2 finale. So then I'm also thinking we're going to see a Hunter Grimwalker revealed to the rest of the group, telling Willow, telling Gus, which who are mainly probably going to have the most visceral reaction, and then also Amity, I guess. And then also, a few things from season 2 here. Hunter has Belos, like some Belos goop, I don't know what you want to call it, fell on him, which I think, was going to be probably a problem. And then the Belos goop, whatever you want to call it, like muck, whatever, shut the door in the credits. So there's definitely something happening there. That piece is going to come back into play somehow. So it's either like, will Belos come back and help the group to stop the Collector? Will it have enough magic to like create a portal or something? And if Belos comes back, will we get more lore with Belos? So, for example, like in the season 2 finale, I didn't notice this at first, but in King's Tide, Belos says Caleb when he was like talking with Hunter, then yells after seeing Flapjack, which is Hunter's palisman. So Caleb is Philip's brother, and Caleb had Flapjack as a palisman. So, like, what happened to Caleb? So, yeah, I did forget to mention that. I didn't notice that until after I made my discussion video for the episode, but he does end up saying Caleb as, very angered, or frustrated, so I wonder what happened there. But yeah, I just think this is going to be a lot of Earth stuff. This is going to be all Earth stuff. We're going to have a lot of Camila. I think it's Camilla. Is that how you say her name? I don't remember how you say her name. But anyways, a lot of that. We're going to get a lot of maybe potential Belos lore, just if he comes back. We're going to have the Boiling Isles characters exploring the human realm, and, I guess just exploring it. Maybe we'll have an actual Luz and Amity date, like human realm date, as they talked about or hinted at in previous seasons that they would. So maybe we're going to see that. What else could happen? I don't know. I guess that was really it for my list on episode 1 here. So I think the episode will end with the group finding a way off of Earth, whether that be using the Belos gunk, whatever, from obviously Belos falling onto Hunter, then falling onto the ground in that old house. Maybe V has some sort of way to get back to the Boiling Isles, or something else wild happens that the group is able to go back to the Boiling Isles and stop the Collector at some point. But again, that is really it for episode 1 there. Just a lot of stuff in the human realm, kind of getting like season 3 of Amphibia, the first 10 episodes were on Earth. That's kind of like what this is going to be, except it's just going to be in one episode. That's my thoughts. So next up is episode 2, which will be the situation with the Boiling Isles currently, and that will follow Ida. So this is going to be all Boiling Isles stuff before our group from Earth comes back. So this is like Ida in the Boiling Isles, citizens trying to survive in this new world where the Collector kind of like destroyed everything, it looks like, and also what's going to happen to all those people, and what happened. We're going to learn about what happened to like Alador, students of Hexside, Odalia maybe, Kikimora, I guess, and all these other characters. I'm just naming characters at this point, but you're just kind of learning all their stories, what happened to them. Maybe they're all in one little place trying to survive, or maybe they're all spread out across this, the Boiling Isles right now. And also, what are the Collector and King going to do? We're going to kind of get more information on that. Maybe there's going to be a character who knows a lot about the Collector and the history of the Collector and kind of what the Collector is able to do, how to stop them maybe. And then also Ida maybe tries to find a way to save all the Coven heads, because they're needed to stop the Collector maybe. Because, the Coven heads are pretty strong. As well as I saw this morning when I got up, it was a post or something, like it was maybe on Twitter or something, but we got all like the confirmed names for all the Coven heads, which is pretty cool. So maybe they're going to be, all those Coven head names are going to be used for season 3, and maybe, Ida's going to have to go on a journey to find a way to save all the Coven heads from being, I think they're dead at this point, from being killed, and then they have to, all work together to stop the Collector, because the Collector is clearly insanely powerful. And if that does happen and Rain comes back, maybe, will Rain and Ida get back together? Most likely, I would say. That's probably definitely something that is going to happen in this season, I'm thinking, if Rain does make it out, because I know they're dead, right? I think they're dead. Anyways, Ida will find out about Luz and King, so somehow, I don't know how, but Ida's going to find out about, Luz being able to leave through the door and escape with Amity, Gus, Willow, and Hunter, and then also learning about what happens to King. The Collector kind of has King in their grasp, something like that, etc. And then we're also going to get Ida lore about the Collector, because there's obviously some sort of connection there. Of course, we saw, I think in the season 2A episode, yeah, it was the knocking on Hootie's door episode, where Ida kind of goes into like the dream world. She sees the figure of the Collector, and I think she has some sort of reaction. I just don't remember what it was. So clearly there is something there. There is some sort of connection between the Collector and Ida, and I guess we'll get some information on that potentially. And then I'm also thinking the episode is going to end with Ida reuniting with Luz and the group, maybe even Belos, maybe Camilla and V as well. I don't know. Who knows? Probably not though. But Belos potentially, that would be kind of cool to see like that dynamic between Ida maybe being super excited to see the group, and then Belos walks out, and then Ida's expression drops, I guess, which would be really cool to see. But yeah, this whole episode 2 is really just going to be about everything that's happening on the Boiling Isles, the whole situation. Maybe we see Ida try and save King from the Collector at one point. Maybe we see Alador and Odalia having maybe more of a emotional reaction to Amity being gone or something. Well, probably not Odalia, but Alador definitely. Maybe we're going to see a lot of Edric and Emira. Who else is there? Who else is stuck there? I forget. Principal Bump. Again, a lot of the Hexside characters here. Just maybe they all come together to try and find a way to stop the Collector. Maybe, again, it's trying to save the Coven heads as well, but maybe it doesn't work out. Who knows? Because clearly our group on the human realm needs to come back to the Boiling Isles to help stop the Collector. So that's probably what we're going to wait for, and that will be the premise of episode 3, which we will get to right now. Alrighty, so episode 3 is going to be all about the Boiling Isles versus the Collector. So this is obviously going to be the final episode of the Owl House, the final fight as well against the Collector, presumably. And I'm just going to do this. So yeah, Boiling Isles versus the Collector, all about King. This is going to be the King episode, King main episode here. And because, the previous 2 episodes, we haven't really seen a lot of King. I haven't really done a lot of stuff with King. And this is going to be the episode where we get all of that. So we start off with King and the Collector having conversations about the Boiling Isles, just kind of the history of it, maybe. Of course, the Boiling Isles is the fallen Titan, and that fallen Titan is King's dad, so there's going to be a lot of lore there. We're going to get information on the Collector, who the Collector is, how they came to be, things like that. Meanwhile, the people of the Boiling Isles are, all banding together and reuniting and getting ready for a fight against the Collector, maybe. King maybe, back at King and the Collector's spot, King maybe sees his dad, because the Collector is really powerful, so maybe they can have, the Titans meet, which would be kind of crazy if, the Collector puts up this whole facade, maybe, of King being able to meet with his dad when his dad was still alive. And, because, again, the Collector's really powerful, and we don't even know the extent of the Collector's powers yet. We've only seen, I would suspect, a very small amount of power used, because, they were able to stop the eclipse. They were able to just push Belos away with like a finger, I think. So, again, very powerful character. Who knows what they can do. But yeah, either way, having King and his dad maybe meet, have them have a conversation or something like that. I would think it's kind of similar to what happens in the Amphibia finale, where like Marcy was kind of stuck in like this facade made by, what was it? Is it King Aldrich, I think his name was? And he was kind of like keeping Marcy busy or distracted. Kind of the same thing here. King will become distracted by meeting with his dad, and the Collector put up like this fake situation, maybe, but maybe it will be the actual King's dad. Who knows? I don't know. I'm rambling here. I'll move on. And then also, if Belos is still in the show here, Belos is still a character here, I think people are going to be very against working with Belos, or not agreeing to help him, because of obviously he started up the draining spell to basically kill all of them, and that's not going to really go over well with the rest of the people and Belos. So people are going to have to learn to trust Belos and actually work with him, which is probably going to be very tough. Then we see, more towards the end of the episodes here, people of the Boiling Isles versus the Collector and saving King. So basically the whole army of people in the Boiling Isles who are left just kind of throw themselves at the Collector. They, trying to attack the Collector any way they can, and also saving King from the Collector. I'm thinking if Belos does come back, Belos was probably gonna die here in this fight. Maybe a sacrifice to stop the Collector. Who knows? And then the Collector's death will be so strong, it'll maybe open a rift or some sort of portal between the worlds, so that Luz can get back on the human realm. And either that portal, very similar to Amphibia here, either that portal closes and, Luz is cut off from the Boiling Isles, or the portal stays open, permanently, and we have a whole epilogue during this episode where Luz and Amity are together. Everybody's happy. You know, Ida and her family are together. Ida and King are together, I guess. You know, maybe we see, like, years in the future, maybe, where King is much older, Ida's much older, everybody's much older. Just all these different, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just like a time jump, basically, of what we see all these characters doing in the future. But then comes the, I don't want to say problem, because I don't think a bad ending would be a problem. I just think it would be, like, surprising, or maybe not, like, the best. I don't know how to say this properly, but, like, the point is, Dana Terrace, of course, the creator of the Owl House, doesn't like happy endings, and they've said that before. Like, Dana Terrace has said that before, that not a fan of happy endings. So what could happen? What could we see here? Could we see, like, maybe, Luz has to be cut off from the... Actually, that's going to happen. I was going to say maybe Luz has to be cut off from the human realm, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Luz is going to go back to the human realm, and then maybe the worst case scenario, the portal that was able to bring her to the human realm closes, and then, like, nobody else can see her ever again, which is very similar to Amphibia. So I don't know. I guess I don't really know what's going to happen at the very ending of the show, but I would prefer, just because I like happy endings, an epilogue of, Luz and Amity are together, everybody's happy, but I'm not opposed to a non-happy ending. I don't know how to say it properly. I don't want to make it sound like, if it's not a good end, if it's not like a happy ending, it's going to be a bad ending. But, like, just kind of like the, I don't know. How do you say it? I don't know how to say it. Anyways, point is, the whole final episode is going to be the fight against the Collector. We're going to get Collector information. We're going to get information on King's dad, learn about King, learn about what King could become. Maybe Belos sacrifices himself, and then epilogue, and then done. And then that's it for the Owl House. So, here are my theories for Owl House Season 3. Just kind of dividing it up in between all 3 episodes, giving all my thoughts, my storyline ideas, my theories, and everything like that. So, yeah, I am super excited for this next season. I think this next season will probably come out maybe next year, either very late this year or early next year. And I can't wait for it. Like, I'm super duper excited for this next season to finish off the Owl House, even though I'm sad to see it go. It has been an incredible show, and again, I can't wait to see how it concludes. And these are only my ideas, so who knows? Maybe the 3 episodes could be completely different from what I had on my list here, because obviously I know nothing so far. So, yeah, if you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.